Hi everyone, this is a quick screencast for you guys for reference on packaging files. So you can see I've made a sample flyer here for you that I've cleverly named Sample Doc. And you can see it's a simple one-page flyer, but I do have some colors, some text, and a couple of images. Actually, one is an image, the other one is actually an illustration. And while we haven't covered images, I am going to show this to you so that you'll have this for future reference. Over in the links panel, you can see I have a listing of the two images, and they are in fact what we would call linked. What we're seeing is actually a preview. They are not embedded into the file, which means that when I want to collect all of the files and turn them in, or in the future you would actually be turning these two over to a printer, I want to make sure that absolutely everything that the printer is going to need, or in my case the instructor is going to need, which would include of course all the fonts and colors and links, so that it can be properly printed, or in my case reviewed. So over in the links panel, you'll see if I hover over it, this particular image up here happens to be linked to an external drive. This one over here happens to be linked to my hard drive. So how am I going to collect everything all over and remember? Well, InDesign makes it really easy. Under the File menu, near the bottom, there's an option called Package, and that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to collect everything for us. We don't have to go hunt. It'll do it for us. As long as everything's linked, InDesign can do everything for us. It opens up this pop-up window, and it opens right away to the summary. And it will tell you about any fonts you have. There were 3 fonts that are used. None are missing, none are embedded. Mostly you want to make sure that none are missing. And 0 are protected, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Below that lists the links and images. There were 2, and none of them are missing. None of them are embedded, and none of them use an RGB color space. We'll talk about color space again when we get into images as well. This is going to be less important for our class, but colors and inks, it's just a simple 4-color job. There's one plugin. If I want to go ahead and get further information, more specific information, I can click here and get additional information, and it lists the specific fonts that are used, the type, and the status, and whether or not they're protected. Under links and images, once again, it lists the same 2 images, lists the file type, the status, which is that they're linked, if there's a color profile. And again, something that will become important when we talk about images is this right here. You can actually check the pixels, whether or not that's 72 dpi or 300 dpi. That's going to be very important later on when you go to printing. Less important again for this class is colors and inks, or print settings, or plugins. So mostly just check out the summary, the fonts, and the links, and make sure that nothing's missing. If there's an issue, chances are here you'll see the little yellow diamond with the exclamation point, so pay attention to that if you see that. Everything seems fine. I'm going to hit the word package. I'll get this additional pop-up window, which is printing instructions. You don't need to do this for the class. However, if you are sending something off to a printer, I highly encourage you to put in your name and contact information plus any instructions. That being said, it never hurts to follow up with the same information in an email or a phone call to your print rep. I'll say continue, and yet another pop-up window which says create package folder. And it says save as, and notice it's taken the name of my document, which was sample doc, and added the word folder. It's going to save right here on my desktop. The most important thing down here for us in this class is going to be making sure that these top 3 checkboxes are turned on. The copy fonts, the copy linked graphics, and updating those linked graphics into the package. I can also, of course, add additional instructions if I forgot. But everything looks fine, especially for our class, so I'm going to hit the word package again. This is the warning about protected fonts. If I don't have the legal rights to pass on those fonts, it's just making me aware that this could be an issue if I don't have the proper licenses for it. We're not worried. We knew that those were protected fonts, so I'm going to hit OK. Notice it takes a few seconds. It packages it up. And now that that window's gone, I can go over to my desktop, and you can see there it is. There was my initial document, but it's made that folder, like it said, with subfolders for the fonts, and there are my fonts, the links, which are the two images, the actual copy of the document itself, and that instructions, which is a simple text document that we did not fill out. From here, you can go ahead and, whether or not you're on a PC or a Mac, you can usually right click, and on a Mac it'll say compress. On a PC it may be zipping your folder. And of course you want to make sure that once that's done, you rename it as I set up in the assignment, adding your username to the end, because if I get 17 of these, it can be difficult. You can actually even remove the word folder. Sample doc underscore, in my case it would be A Grace. Making sure that you can turn that in, and then you can simply attach this zipped folder when you turn in your assignments on Blackboard. Looking forward to seeing them.